Thank you so much. Welcome to your meditation practice. Delighted to be here and delighted that you're all here. Thank you so much. So if we can start to please find that comfortable posture for your body. You can absolutely sit in a chair. If you do, please have your feet straight down and feel the grounding, whether it's the floor of the room, just feel the grounding from the earth supporting you, as if the branches from the earth are coming up through your body in a supportive way, though. Make any adjustments you'd like to make sure your spine is as extended as possible. As Lama Zopa Rinpoche says, as if your sides are long. So feel that extension. Head slightly tipped forward in a subdued posture. Eyes can be lightly closed or slightly open. And as you settle into this posture, begin to deepen your respiration. If you'd like, upon an inhalation, feel free to bring in some generous, positive thoughts about yourself and others. For instance, breathing in love. As we exhale, let's release some negative tendencies, negative experiences, releasing, for instance, pain. You can bring in whatever words you'd like to include in your experience as you inhale. Something positive and supportive. Exhaling what's no longer beneficial. And let's think about the posture of the mind now. We talked about briefly the posture of the body. In more extensive meditation classes, we go more extensively through the physical posture. Most of you are familiar with that now. Think about the posture of the mind. How's your mind this morning? Just observe. Feeling more spacious? Feeling a bit tight? We're just observing without judgment on ourselves. You're just looking. If you're having a positive experience with your mind, fantastic. We can enhance that by checking and establishing a good motivation. If you're not having a positive experience, we can adjust that by once again setting and establishing a positive motivation. In our tradition, we're very focused on benefiting all living beings, helping all living beings. And as a Buddha, as a fully awakened being, unlimitedly. Think about reaching that place of full enlightenment, where you're free of all fears and have fully manifest every good quality, like wisdom, compassion, loving kindness. Every moment you act from there. So if you'd like to include that in your motivation of reaching that place, so we can perfectly, excuse me, perfectly benefit all living beings, feel free to include that. At the very least, you are directing your mind in the most positive direction right now. That's what setting a motivation is about. Rather than allowing all the multitude of distractions to come, pulling our energy away, you taking control of your mind in this way, setting that motivation. Take a moment right now, and please do set that motivation. Begin to focus again on your breath, normal, natural breath. If you'd like to just focus on that space outside the nostrils, where the air enters in and leaves the body, feel free. Keeping the concentration there gently. We follow simply an inhalation, exhalation. And to clear out some of the more subtle energy systems in our body, let's do the 9-round breathing. Lama Yeshi fashion. Excuse me. We're going to begin by closing off the right nostril. We exhale deeply through the left. So beginning with an exhalation. There's variations on this, so no worries. Then as we inhale, we're going to close off the left nostril, inhaling deeply through the right. So exhaling through the left, inhaling through the right. Feel that you are lessening right now anger and hatred from your mind stream 3 times. The next round we reverse. We close off the left nostril, exhaling deeply through the right. As we inhale, we close off the right nostril, inhaling deeply through the left. Imagine here you're lessening attachment and desire from your mind 3 times. Our last round, we are exhaling through both nostrils, inhaling through both nostrils. Feel that you're lessening confusion and ignorance in your mind 3 times. And once again, settling the mind on a normal, natural breath. 5 minutes, just keeping the mind there. Should it wander, just simply observe without any further elaboration. Then gently, when you become aware, bring the mind back to the breath. If you'd like to count your breaths, it's a technique that helps us stay more focused. So 1 inhalation, 1 exhalation is 1. See how far you can count before your mind wanders. If it does, simply become aware, bring it back to the breath. Begin counting again at 1. You just try your best, 5 minutes. So as you try to stay on the breath, notice what distractions pull you away, if they do. Perhaps it's a thought or an idea. Try simply labeling it. For instance, it's simply a thought or thinking. Back to the breath. Label and let it go. Perhaps there's a sound that distracts you. It's simply a sound or hearing. Back to the breath. And rather than forcing and squeezing meditation, that action word, I am meditating. Am I meditating? Am I doing it well? Having all those thoughts sift through. Try to just practice being in meditation. It's the natural state of your awareness, being in meditation. Try your best, 5 minutes. So please visualize now, taking the mind off the breath. But why these meditations, so simple, are so helpful. Just following the breath, calming the mind, is we are racing normally in our everyday lives. We have no time to be still. We find it often unnerving. And not only that, but we spend a lot of time, due to our mindlessness, trying to find our phone, our keys, our glasses, our cup. So this builds more concentration in your everyday activities as well as settling the mind in a calming way. When more dramas occur and arise in your lives, helping you to refrain from negative responses and reactivity. So over time, with consistent effort, which is hard for us, but with consistent effort, we build this space in our mind to return to again and again. Let's explore a little bit more about that space in our mind, that space of awareness. So imagine, some of you have done this before, imagine you're seated on the banks of a beautiful mountain lake, and you're looking out over the expanse of that incredibly crystal clear lake. And just imagine as best as you can that you are there, gazing out over the expanse. The surface is completely still, clear. So notice every once in a while, a bubble comes from the depths of the lake to the surface, sits on the surface for a moment, pops, and then ripples go out from there. Just a slight disturbance to this crystal clear lake that is like your mind. Because one aspect of your mind is clarity. Your mind is actually clear. Another aspect of the mind is it knows things. It knows things. It's aware. So focusing on that lake like your mind, we don't often have that experience of our minds, but that's its true nature. It's one characteristic of its true nature. The other tendencies, the clutter, the busyness, are simply distraction arising from delusion, imbalances. So as you notice this bubble coming to the surface of the lake, a small bubble creates a small ripple effect. It quickly settles down back into the surface, and the lake is still and clear again. Larger bubble creates larger disturbance. So as you gaze out over this expanse of the lake that is like your mind, notice thoughts, experiences that are now arising in your mind. If you can focus more intently on that clear, still surface, stay there. Stare at that as much as you can, absorbing your mind there. But distractions may arise. Simply observe them like a bubble on the lake. Notice the ripples that go out. And notice them slowly, subsiding as you let go the distraction, returning your awareness to the clear, still expanse of the lake that is like your mind. See if you can notice now the space between the thoughts and distractions that arise. As you continue to stare, to look at the lake, reminding yourself of the clarity of your mind, Sometimes thoughts and distractions will arise. Rather than focusing on them, see if you can notice the space of awareness that is also your mind, from where they come. In between them, there is space. If you can, focus on that space rather than the thoughts that come. See if you can stare at that space. So just return your awareness to seated on the banks of the lake, looking out at the expanse of the lake. And just return yourself back to your space now where you're seated. It's so helpful. When we get agitated, when we get upset, in all of life's many different experiences, to remind ourselves of the nature of our mind, that it's clear and knowing. It's clear and knowing. So it's not fear, it's not depression, anxiety, jealousy, anger, confusion. That's not our mind. It's not the true nature of our mind. Those are simply imbalanced experiences that sift through because of karma and delusion, because of previous imprints of those in our mind, previous habits. That's all. We can change those habits, absolutely. We have to work on it. It takes effort. Slowly, we try. So just to give ourselves the support, continuing a bit from last week, a number of you weren't here. A number of people really liked this meditation on love. Excuse me. So just for the remainder of our period, imagine now in the space in front of you, seated across from you, place a person that you love so much, maybe your favorite person on the planet, as if they're seated across from you. Take a moment to look across. Notice the feelings that arise in your body and mind as you look across at them. And even this person you care and love so much, we have many complicated relationships as well. That's okay. But in general, get in touch with the positive feelings you have for them. And as if there is a jewel at the center of your core, at your heart center, as if there's a jewel that is gleaming from all the facets, it could be like a flower opening at your core. And from there comes all the radiance of your love and loving kindness towards this person. So just allow that energy to flow from that center of your core. Even if you'd like to imagine light rays emanating that represent that, or positive words that represent that feeling you have for that person, and allow it to begin to flow first through the body, filling up your whole body with that radiance. This is a strong wish to this other person that they be happy. Strong, huge, as Lama Yeshe would call it, totality heart. The heart wide open, not harboring in fear and confusion around this person and other aspects of the complication perhaps, but just the loving feelings. Letting it transcend the whole body, moving through the whole body, overflowing through all the pores of the body now as that radiance cascades over to them across from you. Let your mind be filled. Let your mind be filled with the radiance and positive, pleasant thoughts to this person. And again, letting that energy cascade across to this person in front. Imagine those light rays enveloping them with this loving kindness, this huge heart from your side that wishes them to be happy. And imagine all that energy melting into them, filling them with this sense of happiness, peace. So pure, unconditional love has no boundaries. It's vast and expansive. It's all about the other person, wishing them to be happy. It's not about what I want. It's about the other person being happy. So take the energy right now away from that person. You can just leave it, but just put that person just slightly off to the side of the meditation. You still have this radiance coming from your heart. And if you'd like, you can withdraw it a little bit into your own being. Now I'd like you to imagine in the space in front is an exact replica of yourself facing you. Isn't it time we gave ourselves some love as well? How often do you do that in a balanced way? So, having all that feeling you had for the other person, if you notice you're stuck trying to love yourself, maybe it's easy for you, no problem. But you can get back into the experience of that loving person, your favorite person, all the feelings we just had. Again, emanating from that jewel at your core. Imagine that flower blossoming at your core, filling your body, filling your mind with that radiance. And allowing that to overflow through all the pores of your body, cascading over to that front visualization of yourself. All that energy of pure, unconditional love, enveloping that being, melting into their heart and mind. Sure, we make mistakes at times. Sure, we wake up in a grumpy mood. Yes, we have challenges. We have negative reactivity, and we suffer from many delusions. So we need love. We deserve it just like everybody else. Just allow that energy as best as possible to flow over to the front visualization of yourself, melting there, bringing a deep sense of happiness and peace. So let's look at both beings now in the space in front. Let's just add back that favorite person beside yourself. Allow this radiance to envelop both of them for a moment. Sometimes it's nice for us to treat ourselves like one of our favorite people. Sometimes we don't do that. It's really, really helpful. So slowly acknowledge both of these beings in any way that you like before we let them return to the space from where they came. And slowly allow them to dissolve back into the space as you allow that radiance that was sent out to them, those light rays, to come back into the center of your core, your heart center. As best as possible, if you can feel that space of heart, it's a soft place, perhaps vulnerable, maybe. But can we keep it as open as possible through our activities today, especially in relation to ourselves? And then perhaps in relation to someone we may see as challenging, because they're really not that different than us. And just feeling that space in your own heart right now, you seated in your space. Let's send these wishes right now to ourselves. If you'd like, as you breathe in, just think, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. May loving kindness manifest throughout my life. Just observe for a moment anything right now that's arising in your mind. Just gently observing. And in conclusion, may we dedicate, may we invest whatever positive energy or merit we've created in helping ourselves to be kind to ourselves so we can be kind to all others, but also really helping us to establish a rich, consistent meditation practice slowly that will be of the most support to our everyday activities, to our heart and mind, especially helping us to traverse that path to full enlightenment, full awakening, so we can be of the most benefit to all living beings. Thank you so much.